cheek.
Real little. She's on the other side. Redhead, green headband. Yes, sir. Yep.
This is a girl he wants me to. The girl who wants me to focus on. Number
4. All right, welcome back here to Prospects Nation TV. Marcus Burnett joined by J.L. Hemingway. This matchup is going to feature West Virginia Thunder taking on Kentucky Premier, two programs that, you know, around this area as well as different parts of the country, Hemi, they need no introduction when you talk about their programs. Give us your thoughts on the matchup as we tip off.
Marcus, I'm really excited about this game for a number of different reasons. First off, you mentioned just the term program. And Kentucky Premier, obviously, with Coach Fothergil and Coach Tapley, have done a great job of developing players, getting players, you know, into college at the next level. And Coach Johnson, same thing, you know, with his program. His, you know, oldest daughter, Michael, going to Notre Dame, played on that 2014 team with Jenna Burdett and Griffin Dempsey. So the term program means something in this sense. It's not just a group of girls that are out here playing, but they're playing for something more, something broader.
We're still at a 0-0 ball game. Some of the different prospects that, you know, even though you got two solid teams, top to bottom, give us some of the prospects that our viewers will want to keep their eyes on through the course of the game.
Well, it's going to start for West Virginia Thunder, number 4 in white, Tara McCutcheon. She's already given her verbal pledge to Michigan State University. She did that last year. Point guard, been on our radar for some time. Brandon Clay actually did a feature player eval with her long ago where Taryn was shooting jumpers with both her right hand and her left hand. It's been well documented. She's, you know, she'll fool you. You'll see her walk in the gym and you think, oh, here's this little short girl, but she can play.
Yeah.
She can score. She can handle the ball. Just a fine player overall, and she's definitely one to watch for West Virginia.
It's a 2-0 ball game. West Virginia first to strike on the scoreboard. Kentucky Premier inbounds the ball. Nice defense being played by Barbie, but apparently some contact on the play as well. As Lexi Barrier. Barrier, the last name. Barrier's going to pick up her first foul.
Well, we certainly don't want to leave out any names for the West Virginia team because it's certainly not the Taryn McCutcheon show. Coach Johnson has done a terrific job of, developing these kids, challenging them over the years. You mentioned Barrier's name just a moment ago, number 15 in white. Really a versatile player. You know, she'll play some forward position on this team, quite honestly, because West Virginia has a lot of guards. But as you see her handling the ball right here, she plays point guard for her high school team during the school season. She's a kid that is being recruited by a number of programs nationwide. You'll look down there along the baseline, you'll see some of those schools here for sure. You look at number 23 in white, Sarah Price, another kid, forward player, also a post player, Michelle Johnson, sister of Michael. Out there, so top to bottom, you got a number of different players that can contribute, and on any given night, it could be one or the other who steps up and makes the defining play or has the defining performance.
Kentucky Premier with the ball right now. Three-pointer from the top of the key. No good. Rebound by number 14, Olivia Segi. For the Thunder, she gets it ahead to Barrier. Barrier for three. A little bit off the mark on that one. Off to the races is Kentucky Premier. Sagan Robbins leading the way. Going to be knocked out of bounds. Ball will stay with Kentucky Premier.
For Kentucky Premier, you know, this is really my first opportunity to get getting an up-close look at this program. I had a chance to watch Coach Fothergil's team earlier today. So I may not have the depth of knowledge necessarily on these individuals, but certainly get to know them, over time as they come to Peach State, more Peach State basketball events. But number 15, Alex Martin, that you saw from Ballard High School there in Louisville. Also number 40, post player Elizabeth Latham, 2016 prospect. And then you mentioned number 3, Sagan Robbins. Just a few of the kids that caught my eye in the earlier round game. But overall, you can be sure that Coach Fothergil is going to be is going to get the most out of these players, and they're going to play hard. And as you see, right on cue, going 5 for 5 here with a new lineup of players.
That lineup includes number 10, Haley Howard, number 0, Jordan Brock, and number 25, Gabby Burris, number 14, Rachel Warden. I know we've got one more out there. Or maybe I got them all and didn't know it. Nothing wrong with a little bit of confirmation. Follow up there, Hemi.
Yeah, no doubt. Number 25, Gabby Burris. We're familiar with her, Marcus. She was at our Fab 5 camp back in the fall. Forward out of the Ohio area, Baltimore, Ohio. New addition to the Kentucky Premier squad. A versatile player, has some size. Had a chance to speak to her before the game. Actually coming off of a minor injury earlier this spring, but she's fired up, ready to go, and see how she does here this evening.
It's a 4-0 ball game. Another three-pointer on the way for Kentucky Premier. It's no good, but they get a second opportunity. Unfortunately, unable to stay in bounds was Haley Howard, so it'll go back over to the Thunder. 12 minutes, 32 seconds left to play here in the first half. 4-point advantage for the Thunder. Taryn McCutcheon gets it over to the elbow, but back out to McCutcheon, and she was a good 3-4 feet behind the line on that one.
And you can see the range of McCutcheon. Definitely a threat to launch some daggers, from beyond the arc. She shows it right there, giving the Thunder an early lead.
And giving them fits on defense in terms of Kentucky Premier. Barrier with the spin move. It doesn't go. Nice move, though. If only we could hand out a point for that. But a stop by Kentucky Premier. Can they complement that with a three-pointer? Yes, they can. Number 0, Jordan Brock, gets the 3 to go. And so on the board is Kentucky Premier. 7-3 ball game.
Nice shot there by Brock. Gets her feet set. Knocks it down on the other end. Barrier can't get her post finish to go. And bringing it up in the open court is Burris.
It's going to be Barrier's second foul. Checking into the game for the West Virginia Thunder. Number 32, Courtney Eisenman. Number 52, Carly Wilson. And number 24, Shayna Harmon. Harmon up ahead to McCutcheon. She's already got 1 3. A little bit too strong on that attempt. But that offensive rebound creates another opportunity for West Virginia Thunder. Post work inside by Eisenman. Doesn't get the good shot to go. Here comes Kentucky Premier the other way. Brock gonna get it out to Howard. Back out top to Brock. Brock knocked down the initial three-pointer to get Kentucky Premier on the board. Here, we're going to see number 20, Kiera Pankins, getting involved in the act. Thunder with it. Harmon, that pass intended for Carly Wilson. going to go out of bounds and back over to Kentucky Premier.
Olivia Segi, a new addition to this Thunder squad, 2015 prospect. Getting her first chance to look at her here today.
Both teams not hesitating at all to get on the floor for the basketball. It's a 7-7 ball game, as it appears to be some discrepancy on the possession arrow when it comes to jump balls.
Why not? Go get it, 10. Go get it, 10.
Back to the action, the baseline drive. Harmon too strong on the shot. Harmon still getting loose, just checking in not too long ago. Here's Howard for three. She's too strong, but Premier with an offensive rebound. Can't capitalize on the second attempt. Here comes McCutcheon the other way for the Thunder. Cross court, Hall from the corner. No good. Harmon working inside after the rebound. That'll make it a 9-7 ball game.
Shayna Harmon, an intriguing prospect in the class of 2016, 5'8", lanky frame. You see the versatility that Harmon will have. It's a good sign of her being on the glass and now finishing on the break. Can't get that one to go, but Harmon, as she does get that short corner jumper to go. Harmon is one of those kids that we've had our eye on for some time, and she's a kid that can handle the ball some. And if she can really exert herself as a consistent effort, you know, on the glass, kind of doing those in-between things, she's going to be a big-time performer for the Thunder moving forward.
As they now have a 4-point advantage with 9:27 left to play here in the first half. We've seen some substitutions by both teams up to this point that, you know, kind of further illustrates the point that we made to open the game, as far as, you know, both of these teams really representing strong programs, and the good job that these coaches do with being able to not only develop players, but have players coming off the bench that they can trust in and be able to put in these situations. Ready to resume play, and Kentucky Premier, with the pressure turned up a little bit here by the Thunder on defense, it results in a turnover.
Had good adjustment right there by Coach Johnson, and the Thunder applying that full court pressure, and Premier did a pretty good job for a couple of passes, but as you can see, by the third, it was too much.
Nice defense there. Active hands for Premier. They'll come the other way with Brock. Another steal by the Thunder. Johnson ahead to Harmon. Harmon with the finish. 13-7 ball game, 6-point advantage for the Thunder.
Good execution there in transition by Johnson and Harmon. Coming back the other direction, number 32, Courtney Eisenman, coming up with that block shot to now start transition the other way.
Ball out to Harmon. Harmon, nice pass to Johnson. Johnson, no good on that drive. Rebounded inside there by number 40, Elizabeth Latham. Just relentless defense there by the Thunder. Wilson puts it on the deck. The defense by Premier stayed their ground, stole it away. Here's Madison Jones with it.
Yeah, that's a situation there where I think Coach Johnson's going to talk to Wilson about, you know, making that extra pass. She tried to split the gap right there, saw something. Turned out that it wasn't there, but a good teaching opportunity for her coming off the floor.
We're going to have Sagan Robbins earn a trip to the free throw line there, as well as 3 substitutions for the Thunder. Number 5, Anna Hayton. Number 22, Sydney Holloway. And also back into the game, number 15, Lexi Barrier. Martin going to kick it out to Madison Jones. Jones off the mark on the 3 ball.
You know, one thing that you got to love from both coaches right here is that, you know, they're challenging these young ladies, you know, to perform and to perform well. That, you know, that there are expectations, and both coaches are going to let them know when, hey, you know, that lack of execution, you know, is not up to par. But doing it not only in a stern way, but in a positive way as well too. And it takes a certain type of player to be able to oftentimes hear that type of brutal honesty a lot of times. Good finish there by number 40 by Elizabeth Latham in transition.
Latham's bucket makes it a 13-9 ball game. You see Harmon aggressive on the drive there. She'll get a trip to the charity stripe. 6 minutes, 55 seconds left to play here in the first half.
Getting a little bit of a glimpse of what Harmon can do. And I found it interesting that Coach Johnson brought her off the bench here today. You know, normally Harmon is a kid that you would expect to, you know, be in the starting lineup. But, you know, obviously he's sending her a little bit of a message. And to her credit, she's responding, coming in here, being a little bit more aggressive, you know, rebounding, getting to the hole. So whatever, you know, buttons that Coach Johnson was trying to push, certainly it's responding here with Shayna Harmon.
That shot's off the mark there by Robbins. Comes the aforementioned Harmon the other way. The spin move by Martin, who will earn her first trip to the free throw line here.
Both coaches making adjustments here on the fly. Coach Fothergil was already, you know, putting his team into either a half-court trap or full-court press here, and Coach Johnson knowing exactly what happens, say, hey, go ahead and get into your half-court trap, you know, break, or go 2-1-2 here to be ready for it.
Definitely, it'll be fun to watch that cat and mouse game per se as the game continues. 5-point advantage now for the Thunder. 6 minutes, 19 seconds and counting left to play here in the first half. Getting a little tripped up there was Robbins. Pass off the mark, ball back over to the Thunder. Harmon with it. Not really fazed by the initial pressure as she gets the splash to go on the other end.
Yeah, second pull-up jumper there by Harmon. She gets the second one to fall. Good work by her on that.
Harmon trying to thread the needle there. The barrier is broken up, and Martin is going to be a part of the jump ball there. New 5 into the game for Kentucky Premier. Number 14, Rachel Warden. Number 25, Gabby Burris. Number 0, Jordan Brock. Number 10, Haley Howard. And last but not least, number 20, Kiera Pankins. Got another jump ball. This time the ball's going to go over to Kentucky Premier. Jordan Brock with it. Brock with a nice move, leaves Harmon. Second line of defense commits the foul. So that's going to send number 0, Jordan Brock, to the free throw line for 2.
And you mentioned a moment ago, Marcus, about, you know, depth and number of players that you bring to the game and having confidence in them. You know, multiple times we've seen coaches going, you know, 5 for 5, you know, even 7, 3, and 4 at a time, as you see right now with the Thunder. And obviously it's a lot easier, you know, being a summer coach where you kind of pick your team and make sure that you got elite players, you know, on your squad as opposed to a high school team where you may only have 5 or 6 solid ones where you may not be able to go 5 for 5. But I think that's probably, you know, a less stressful way of playing when you know that you can go in there, you can play hard for 3 or 4 minutes. Heck, even if you make a mistake, you got to know that heck, the guy in front of you could make a mistake too, and you'll get another opportunity at it.
As we see a steal and a finish right there by Jordan Brock. Nice play. He's able to pick Johnson's pocket and go and finish. Nice pass. Price unable to finish there for West Virginia. I'm going to call a jump ball on that play. It'll go back over to the Thunder. Olivia Segi, number 14, out of Morgantown, West Virginia, with the ball, gets it over the barrier. The backdoor cut by McCutcheon slips up a little bit.
Hey, she pulled her jersey out of the fan.
Coach Johnson patented backdoor move that he always runs there with the Thunder. Couldn't get that one to go. He was saying, hey, I think there was some defensive interference right there. And well, maybe there was, but with the SUV TV, unfortunately, no instant replay here.
And if that option were enabled, I think we'd have some officials that might be opposed to that. I know I would not want to be a summer basketball official with instant replay.
No,
people would be calling for instant replays on the tip-off.
As a gym administrator, I'm going to be opposed to instant replays myself.
No shopping.
Premier with it. This West Virginia Thunder defense swarming right now. 19-12 ball game. 3 minutes, 46 seconds left to play here in the first half. They inbound the ball, but there's Michelle Johnson. She's already got a couple steals here in this game, trying to make it a third. It's going to be a jump ball, and it'll stay with Premier.
Yeah, good hustle going both ways. You see the specialty of Michelle Johnson there, number 12 in white, what she can bring to the table. Defender, hustler, getting on the floor, really mixing it up. Got to have kids like that if you expect to be a successful team.
Yeah, she's always taking somebody's cookies out there on the floor. So we have another fresh wave of substitutions for Premier. Madison Jones with it. Jones looking to do a little something. Cross-court pass. Here's Martin. That's a good look. Won't go for it. Rebound by Segi, who's wasting no time. Kicks it out to McCutcheon. Give her another three-pointer. That one about just a foot in, but still 2 feet behind the line.
That's picture-perfect transition basketball right there, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of good transition basketball, how about Sagan Robbins, just an 8th grader, finishing that left-handed on the break. And Tara McCutcheon is tearing the nets off of the rim right here, back-to-back three-pointers. We'll come back and talk about Segi to McCutcheon here in a moment, but it's pretty good basketball going on here right now.
Couldn't agree more. Three-pointer from the top of the key. No good. McCutcheon gets the rebound. Thunder pushing. Segi gets it inside to Price. Price has that shot blocked. Barrier working inside, too strong. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Thunder, so it'll go over to Premier.
Yeah, really impressed with Segi right there. Segi to McCutcheon a couple of possessions ago where she drove it into the lane, got the defense to suck in on her, kicked it out to McCutcheon, had a feet set, knocked that thing down from long range. A lot of kids would, try to force something up over a couple of different defenders, not Segi, showing a very advanced understanding of the game.
Madison Jones, three-pointer, looked good, just wouldn't stay down for her. From the Thunder the other way. Johnson back out to Segi. Segi with the floater.
Yeah. Segi showing us something a little bit here today, Marcus.
You touched on it, Hemi. Making plays, getting others involved. Kicked it out to McCutcheon for the three. Got a rebound, pushed it, really set the big man up inside. Or the big woman, I should say.
Yeah, with Price, made that little post feed. Showing some diversity to her game, Segi, may not be the tallest kid, out here, but heck, Tara McCutcheon's not that tall. But it's really about the size of your game than really the height out there. And when you can make plays like that, a little floater in the lane, passing, setting things up, suddenly people forget about how tall you really are.
Minute 48 left to play here in this first half. Not a whole lot of time left to get it in, but they do. Sagan Robbins tries to get that one over to Latham. Premier able to hold on. Not before McCutcheon can come. Crossover. The shot, it won't go. Ball last touch by Premier. It'll go back over to the Thunder. I think beyond what McCutcheon does on the offensive end, got to give her credit for what she's been able to do defensively as well. It's been good team defense by the Thunder, but McCutcheon personally has really harassed the ball handlers since early on in the game.
Yeah, very much that point of attack type defender, quick hands, and right on cue, Marcus. Strips that ball out, now pitches it ahead. Look at that. Gets a hand on the rebound, tips it out. Just does a great job of keeping the ball alive for her teammates.
Segi just off the mark on the three-pointer. Here's Jones. Jones for three. Off the mark on the shot. Definitely a good look.
Oh.
Coach Johnson going to get a timeout for the Thunder. 31.8 seconds left to play here in the first half of this one. 27-14 ball games. And if you're a Kentucky Premier, definitely want to make sure you don't let this deficit get too out of hand here.
Yeah, very good point, Marcus. Talking about what it takes to be competitive in this game, versus an experienced ball club like the West Virginia Thunder. The Thunder have been playing together for the most part. The core group of them have been playing together for several years. And Coach Fothergil's group here, lots of 2017 kids. And it really just starts by, handling the ball, not giving the Thunder, anything easy.
Johnson on the drive. The reverse.
Nice.
Nice reverse there by Michelle Johnson. Robbins gets it over to Martin. Martin back out to her. Nice defense to end the first half there for the Thunder. So we take a break. 29-14. We'll catch you back here shortly at the PSB Tipoff Classic, Tennessee.
tell me you are now. For me to be able to drink out of it. Where'd you park at when you came back? I got a look right there.
All right, we're ready to get the second half underway. Marcus Burnett, I'll be joined by J.L. Hemingway shortly here on Prospects Nation TV as we open the second half up with a backdoor cut in a bucket for Taryn McCutcheon. As it's now a 31-14 ball game. West Virginia Thunder continuing to apply the pressure. That shot off the back of the rim, but working hard inside there. It's Premier's second shot won't go. Some good looks by this talented Premier team. A lot of them just won't stay down for him here.
Yeah, you're right. I think you hit it right on the head there, Marcus. Lots of good looks, just won't fall. And I think we're seeing more than anything else with the Thunder, just the cohesion, the confidence. Speaking of confidence, boy, oh boy, the spin move right into the reverse layup there by McCutcheon. Now Segi, I mean, these kids, obviously are very talented individually, but the fact that they know how to play with one another really allows them to play with confidence, and that makes all the difference in the world. Premier, certainly, very talented in their own right. You can just tell, they're still feeling each other out, and maybe they're a little bit in shell shock in some ways at just the cohesion of West Virginia. But this Fothergil team, they're going to grow up, that's for sure. Good test for them early on.
They continue to fight on the offensive glass. That one's taken away by Barrier. Bounce pass gets broken up. But it's going to be last touch by Segi. Go back over to Premier.
One thing that comes to mind when you watch Coach Fothergil coach is the term teacher. There was a bad play, a negative play the previous possession as another negative play follows this. But the way that he handled that, he didn't yell, he didn't berate. He was talking to the young lady, saying, hey, you needed to do this, you needed to do that. Gives her an out, gives her a way, a solution of sorts. And I think that's a great model for a lot of coaches, both young and old, for that matter. You got to remember, when you're a coach, you're a teacher first, and you got to give them hope. You got to give them a way out. And sometimes that's yelling. That sometimes means that you've really got to challenge them and see where they're at. Other times, it means encouraging them, lifting them up, and that's very much the feeling I get here from Coach Fothergil. As his Kentucky Premier team is just trying to find, some rhythm here.
Couple substitutions for the Thunder back into the game. Number 11, Casey Hall, as well as number 22, Sydney Holloway. Still a 33-14 ball game. Howard for three. That one's off the back of the rim. Long rebound. Johnson wrestles it away. Hall hesitates and then stops, pops.
Good.
Gets it to go.
I like Casey Hall, number 11 there on white. Nice pull-up game right there. She's primarily a kid that's played a shooting guard position for West Virginia over the years. A very good shooter. You're seeing her put the ball on the floor these days in the mid-range, and that's important for her.
Holloway couldn't get the putback attempt to go. Strong rebound inside there by Price. Got a jump ball called, and possession arrow is going to keep it with Kentucky Premier.
Sarah Price, number 23 there in white. Always been a big fan of her, you know, good size, good skill, you know, inside. Always going to battle on the inside, interior glass. She's got to do a little bit better job of securing that rebound and starting the break right there. I think that's something that Coach Johnson definitely talked to her about next dead ball.
So we're going to have a foul there on the floor. Fresh 5 coming in for Kentucky Premier. Courtney Eisenman back in the game, number 32 for West Virginia Thunder.
Good, Courtney.
Jones over to Martin. Three-pointer on the way, counted. Good possession there for Premier. Sagan Robbins with a three-pointer.
Sagan's been a bright spot for this Kentucky Premier team. Some transition buckets and now a three-point jumper. Nice curl cut in the lane coming the other direction by Hall, but an even better block shot there by number 40. I believe that's Elizabeth Latham, yes.
Good, Case.
Johnson pushing it for West Virginia. Drops it off to Holloway. Holloway finishes.
Holloway, a new face for this West Virginia team. Out of Morgantown, West Virginia, 2016 prospect. Good looking size there. Running the court well.
Another steal for the Thunder. Wide open three-pointer. Missed by Harmon. Jones ahead to Martin. Martin with the strong take.
Nice, I like that. Look like you out there on the court there, Marcus.
I wish, man. I wish, Hemi. If I had this many coaches watching me like they're watching this game, Hemi, it might be a different story, man. Nice to see these kids playing in front of the row of college coaches that we've got along the back line here between PSB Tipoff Classic Tennessee and PSB Tipoff Classic Georgia. Been a great weekend for the coaches and the players involved.
What a great opportunity for exposure for these young ladies. You talk about Lipscomb University down there 3 deep with their assistants. Indiana University came in with an assistant tonight. Marshall's got the head coach sitting here on the West Virginia Thunder team plus an assistant. You know, so don't forget about Coach Tom from Vanderbilt, who's been in here all day long, taking in games. You know, a smaller event here in Nashville, just getting started, but certainly an event that's going to continue to grow. But in many ways, you know, when you talk about a West Virginia Thunder, Kentucky Premier Fothergil team, this type of smaller venue may be even better for exposure than a bigger event where you could get lost at an outer gym or something like that. That's basically been our belief over the years.
Yeah, good point, man. 39-20 ball game, 10:41 in counting. The pass intended for Martin is knocked out of bounds. Good hustle to get back on defense there by Eisenman. Three-pointer from the corner. That one won't go for Robbins.
Nice. Well, Harmon had 2 plays right there, and unfortunately, I think she chose the wrong one. She probably could have just went ahead and shot it, but it was a good look nonetheless. I think Eisenman, new face of this team too for West Virginia. Couple of more tournaments. I think she would be ready with that one.
Number 52, Carly Wilson's back into the game for West Virginia Thunder, as well as number 4, Taryn McCutcheon, back into the game for Premier. Number 10, Haley Howard. Number 14, Rachel Warden. Number 20, Kiera Pankins. Number 25, Gabby Burris. And last but definitely not least, number 0, Jordan Brock. That shot's blocked out of bounds there by Burris. Coach Johnson wanted to set something up. He's going to take a timeout to clarify the detail.
Yeah, he's got some new faces here on this West Virginia team. You know, you talk about Eisenman, Segi, Holloway, and the way that he likes to coach, Coach Johnson that is, runs a lot of sets, lots of different actions. There's some reads, some different calls that he'll even run out of these different sets. And everybody's got to be on the same page. And so when you introduce new faces, you know, it's going to take a minute and even a couple of tournaments to make sure that everybody knows exactly what's happening.
That three-pointer missed by Harmon. Brock's going to be fouled there by Hall.
Match up. Shannon's got the
It'll
lane.
be Premier ball there along the baseline. Deep 2. Won't go. Rebound by Hall.
Yeah, Coach Johnson right there telling the girls, hey, way to move the ball. You see McCutcheon getting out there on the break after she took the outlet pass, cross court, you know, then hit Hall at the top of the key.
McCutcheon a little too strong on that three-pointer. Blocked inside by Premier. Second defensive attempt is a foul. And so that's going to send number 52, Carly Wilson, to the free throw line. Got 9 minutes, 21 seconds left to play in this one. 39-20 ball game. That'll be 40-20. Brock with the jumper along the elbow.
Yeah, Brock's been solid today, Marcus. Several jumpers, like what she's done with the ball in her hands. Again, another bright spot for Coach Fothergil.
Kentucky Premier still playing hard. You liken Coach Fothergil to a teacher. He's definitely teaching this squad throughout this game. I think they're definitely representing him well with the way they're continuing to fight. Playing hard, still plenty of time left in the game, but you know, at times you can see teams get down by 20 or so and kind of mail the rest of the game in. Not this Kentucky Premier squad.
Great move there by McCutcheon, and you made a great point about Coach Fothergil. Up 20, down 20. You can't tell. You can't tell the difference. You know, you keep coaching, you keep, you know, teaching effort, keep preaching execution. You know, and that's just the consistency that you've got to have if you want to be a great player, a great team. And quite honestly, when you think about athletics as a whole, you know, why do you play, you know, basketball? Well, sure, this is an exposure week and you're trying to get a scholarship, but let's be honest, athletics really teaches something greater, you know, to you as a person. And, you know, you want to be consistent as a person, regardless if, you know, you're in first period math class or if it's, you know, a free throw for a state championship. The consistency of character, the consistency of effort, it's got to carry through to both extremes. And I'm sure that's exactly what Coach Fothergil would talk about.
As this team continues to fight here, 42-20 ball game, 7 minutes, 25 seconds left to play. That foul goes against Harmon. Back into the game for the Thunder, number 14, Olivia Segi, as well as number 23, Sarah Price. Fresh 5 in for Kentucky Premier, number 15, Alex Martin, number 3, Sagan Robbins, number 1, Madison Jones. Well, we see score right there. I think Jones has also, you know, had a good game, relatively speaking, for Kentucky Premier, just as far as, you know, being able to play with the pressure that West Virginia Thunder has provided and also get better throughout the course of the game.
You're right. You know, no game's ever going to be perfect. You know, you remember the quote about, you know, what Gino talked about, a perfect season. You know, even though they ended up with a so-called perfect season, you know, he still talks about the mistakes that you make in practice and mistakes that you make during games. And let's face it, no game, no practice, no nothing's ever going to be perfect. And Jones right here, you know, just another example here where she's got Segi all in her. You know, turnover happens. You know, she's got to take that and she's got to learn from it. And Coach Fothergil right there, you know, having a little fun, you know, teaching and encouraging. What a great opportunity, you know, for these young ladies to come and to compete against a good team like West Virginia.
Shot from the elbow, no good for Harmon. Comes Martin the other way with it for Premier. Three-pointer on the way. That one's no good there by Robbins. Here's McCutcheon ahead to Segi. Ball knocked out of bounds by Premier.
And I love watching Coach Johnson's teams play as runs another sideline out of bounds that I had not seen before, but just so many different things that he does, and I find just impressive, quite honestly, that he's able to teach these girls all these different sets, that they're able to remember them, and most importantly, be able to execute them. I coached for many years, a nice jumper there by Harmon. Coached many years high school boys basketball, and boy, if we could get one baseline out of bounds play executed correctly, I felt like a pretty good coach. He's got these girls running 5 different baseline out of bounds and 3 different options off of each.
Yeah, you got to take the Wonder Lick before you can get the West Virginia Thunder playbook. 4:54 left to play here in this one. 44-24 ball game. Harmon inside to Price. Price nowhere to go. We're gonna have 3, or we're gonna have 10 in the key called there.
Yeah, he put his 2 big players in the game here, Hayton and Price. One of them forgot to get out. Whoa.
A little bit of razzle-dazzle there by Sagan Robbins. She thought Jones was going to stay put there on the perimeter of the three-point line. Jones instead was cutting to the rack. Ball back over to the Thunder. Segi's tripped up. Stay with us for the last Prospects Nation TV webcast of the night, which will be the Alabama Roadrunners taking on Tennessee Team Springer. The two bigs working inside. Bucket in by number 5, Anna Hayton. But it was off of the hard work of Sarah Price, who kept the ball alive, and Hayton cashed in. As we've seen this Franklin Fieldhouse, they've definitely made some renovations and some upgrades since we were here last year. People have been able to check out some of the NBA playoff scores, as well as the live games. And on the flat screen display, nice flat screen in the coach's hospitality room as well.
Oh man, you were up there in the hospitality room like that?
Yeah, man, I had to take a second, man. I was able to see Vince Carter hit a huge three.
Man, I guess this is the perks of running the SUV TV.
No doubt, man. As it is a 46-27 ball game. Barrier gets the bank to go. The bank is still open for her, I guess. Then again, I mean, you can do almost anything that you could do at a bank from your phone these days. So essentially, the whole bank being open thing, not as big of a deal as it used to be, Hemi.
Hey, the banking app.
Right.
Yeah.
She used her bank app. There we go.
There we go.
49-27, 3:21 left to play in this one.
I'm real big on the checks, scanning the checks, taking the picture and putting it in off of the banking app. That's made my life pretty easy here lately.
Can't beat it, man. It's now 49-28 after that first free throw by Pankins. Pankins knocks down the second. Harmon kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson from the corner. On the three, rebound by Haley Howard. Ball's going to be last touch by Barrier. It'll stay with Premier. Casey Hall checks back into the game. Nice defense inside there by Price.
Talk about walling up right there. And talk about the banking app.
I believe that was number 25, Burris, on that one. Saying she has hers downloaded also.
Scan and score. Speaking of scored, Sarah Price showing her range right there. Ooh, a left-handed floater. Burris tried to throw it off of Price's foot twice in his.
That about sums up the game, I think, for today.
Yeah. I hate to laugh, but it's kind of humorous. She threw it hard, too, and it just kept bouncing the wrong way. So, yeah, it does sum it up for them.
Because it's been, that was a play to where she did a great job got to the deck, got the ball, was hustling, made a heads-up play to try to throw it out of bounds off of them, and still it just didn't bounce their way. And I think to start this game, that was also the story. You know, it wasn't sloppiness by Premier, it wasn't a lack of discipline, it was really just a matter of, you know, playing a good team that did a lot of things right in West Virginia Thunder, and some of those shots that they needed to fall just not falling. Barrier's going to try to cash in. 2 for $1 sell on threes. Can't get those to go. Robbins the other way. Johnson to Hall. Hall too strong out of the corner. There's Martin. Martin for 3. No good. Nice work inside there by Latham. Unfortunately, putback attempt won't go. Segi out to Johnson. Johnson to Barrier.
There we go. Barrier's kind of had an off game here, but she gets that one to go late. You can see the skill, the stretchability that she has. She's a nice player, and come championship game tomorrow, she'll be a big reason, big part of what West Virginia does.
Floater to go there for number 1, Madison Jones. Premier with the rebound. That pass intended for Robbins. And that is going to do it. So the final score, 54-33, West Virginia Thunder advances. We'll see them in the championship tomorrow here on Prospects Nation TV. Thanks for joining us.